So let's talk about how to set up a calendar for your personal one-on-one bookings. So if you go to calendars on the left side here on your menu, and then you go to calendar settings at the top. And then while we're in here, you're going to click on the blue calendar. It says blue. It's a blue button on the right-hand side that says create calendar. So we're going to click on that. Now you have the different scheduling types that'll pop up. We have personal booking, round robin, class booking, and collective booking. But for this demonstration, we're just going to go through the personal booking. So the personal booking is just for the one-on-one meetings, and it's just for just a specific team member. So we're going to click on that, and then you have your new calendar name that you can create, and then the rest of the options here as well too that we'll go through. So for our calendar name, let's click on one. I'm sorry, let's select one. Let's type one in. Let's see. Let's try client onboarding. Okay, that's our calendar name. You can add a description if you like. You can actually, you don't have to, it's not required, but you can actually add this in on one of the other pages as well too. So if you don't add it here and you want to do it later, you can do it later. For your team member, you can select what team member is assigned to this particular calendar. So here is mine. And then for the custom URL, this is just you customizing the ending portion of the actual calendar to kind of specify just to this particular calendar. So that way it won't get confused with any of the calendars that you create inside of your account. So let's make a custom URL, and it can't be like anything else that you already have. So let's see, let's do a CO1. You can abbreviate it or you can just write it out. It's fine. And then for your meeting duration, this is just how long the meeting is scheduled to last. So I have 30 minutes here as a default, and then you can change it to hours as well too. But of course, you don't want it 30 hours. So let's try. Let's say if it was 1 hour, you could do that. And then for your booking availability, here you can uncheck or check the days of the week that you want this type of calendar to be available. And then you can add your time in here as well too. Now, if you want to further customize the hours, so let's say if you want to take a break in between time, we would need to click on the advanced settings in order to do that. So let's take a look at what the advanced settings look like. All right, so in our advanced settings, we have our meeting details, availability. These are the different menu items that we have that we can go through. Forms and payment, notifications and additional options, and customizations. So let's start with meeting details. For the meeting details, we can add in a calendar logo here. We can add in a calendar. We can update the calendar name if you want to change it. That's fine too. You can even add a tag on here as well too. So let's say if you want to add your account name or your business name on here. Let's start over. You click on a tag, go to account, click on name, and then it'll upload your business name in this location if you wanted that added in there at the end of the calendar name. Just realized I spelled onboarding wrong. Okay. All right, so our description, if you remember before, there wasn't, we didn't enter one in, but if you want to change your mind and you want to enter in a description here, this is where you would write your description. Here's my sample description. You can add that in there. If you have like a folder or a group, which is what I would name as is another way to name like a folder. So let's say if you have a folder of particular um, types of calendars, and you want to keep those together so you don't mix them up with anything else, you can. That's what this um, drop down would be used for. So we don't have any this time, but that's fine. So we have our custom URL. If you want to change it again or update it, this would be the time that you can do it as well. We have our meeting invite title. So this is the title that will go out to, let's say, your client or your customers or your contacts, whenever, or your leads, whenever they sign up for a particular date to meet with you. It will send this out to them, and it'll have whatever you put in this. This is what they'll see for the top of the meeting invite. So let's say if you wanted to do like client onboarding meeting with, and then here's the contact name. That's the custom value, and it will automatically insert that that particular person that scheduled the meeting with you. It'll enter in their name. All right, so if you want to change team member, you can do that here as well too. Remember, you can only put in one person. And if you want to customize where they are meeting, so let's say if we click on this drop down here, I can click on Zoom, Google Meet. If we're doing it by phone, it'll be by phone. We have the full address, so that would be as if you were meeting at a particular location. If the person that's booking the meeting with you, if you want to give them the option to pick the way that they want to schedule the meeting with you, that's what you would click for there. And then we also have Microsoft Teams. So let's say if I did, my Zoom account isn't connected, and that's fine. So let's do Google Meet. You can change the event color here. So let's say if I did orange, that's fine too. We'll see that further down here as well too. So let's go to availability. And this is where you can customize the hours again. So let's say if we wanted to split the time up on like Monday or something like that, I can split the time up by clicking on this plus sign. And then you can change the date in here too. So let's say if I just wanted to meet from 8 to 12, and then I need a lunch break or something, and I want to do 2 to 6, right? 2 to 6. Let's try this again. Oh, all right. One more time. Okay. And then let's do our 2 p.m. We can do it to 7 p.m. And then if you want to do that for the other days as well too. Let's say I don't want to do work on Wednesday or Friday. Okay, I can just uncheck the box. If I wanted to copy this down to the others without having to press that plus sign and enter those times in again, I can just click on this copy button, and then I would select the days that I want to schedule that time for, and then hit apply, and then it'll copy that down the rest of the way. All right. All right, so we have our look busy button. So this will hide the number of available spots, and it'll do it by percentage. So if I want to hide like 20% of them, I can do that. If I want to schedule a reoccurring meeting, that this will be a reoccurring meeting for this particular client or customer, we would do that here. You can do this as daily, weekly, monthly, or you can customize it as well too. So you can repeat it every one day or 1 week, and you can pick out the days of the week. You can do it by month as well too, monthly on day. And then there's also the monthly on last day. And then we can change the days that's for. Okay, so let's say if you wanted to do a daily or a weekly, and then you want to repeat it like once a week or twice a week. So down in the if slots are unavailable for the skip booking unavailable slots, then we have the continue booking, and then the book next available slot. So this is just telling the system what you want it to do if the slots are not open for booking. So you want them to either skip booking available slots, unavailable slots, or you want to continue booking. And then when you click on continue booking, we have our appointment status for overlapping slots. You want to click it as confirmed or unconfirmed, or change it to confirmed or unconfirmed. And then we have our book next slot, next available slot. So I normally like to keep it on book next available slot. So that way it'll still push the next available time. So now we have the meeting interval, which is 30 minutes. That is for the time period of, and I'll let you see this as well too, because it's a lot of information here. So the meeting interval reflects the amount of time between booking the slots that will be shown on the calendar. So for a 30-minute event that should be available at the top of each hour, the interval would be 1 hour. For a 30-minute event that should be available every 30 minutes, the interval will be 30 minutes. Okay? So for the duration, if it's, you can also pick 1 hour. You can change this to minutes as well too. So this is going off of the amount that we had put in before. So we had it at 1 hour. We'll change it back to 1 hour for our minimum scheduling notice. So this is for the amount of time that your clients or leads or your customers have to book with you. Let's say if before the booking actually is even scheduled. So let's say if we want to block out the time for being able to allow our customers or our clients or our leads to book time with us 3 hours or 4 or 5 hours before they can just book. So that gives you some time to kind of prepare instead of somebody trying to book with you at the very last minute. So let's say, for example, if I did 1 hour, that means that they can't book with you 1 hour before the time that they book. So if they booked at 12 o'clock, then that means that they can't book with you or try to book for the 12 o'clock spot after 11 o'clock. All right. So let's change it to like 4. The date range, this just allows how many days that they can see out. So let's do for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, they can only see 2 weeks at a time. And then for the maximum bookings per day, this allows how many will actually show up. So our maximum bookings per day, you can book, let's leave it at like 5 bookings per day. And then we have our maximum bookings per slot, so per user. So this is for how many are available. This is for how many there are available per person. So we'll leave it at 1 per day. Our pre-buffer time is it's kind of like a time in between bookings. So you have that time, let's say if we do like 15 minutes. So the schedule will change so that way that time frame, like let's say if someone booked a call with you at 1 p.m. So nobody can take let's say the 12 o'clock spot, because there's a pre-buffer time of 15 minutes that starts at 12:45. So the 12 o'clock spot isn't going to be available because our meeting duration was for 1 hour. So then that will push that time back. So that also kind of gives you some time to prepare in between calls as well too. So now the post buffer time is the amount of time after the meeting is over. So nobody can book a meeting with you within 15 minutes, or not within 15 minutes, but 15 minutes after. So you won't have somebody booking an appointment with you at 1 o'clock and then somebody try to book with you at 2. If you have your buffer on for the post buffer, and this goes for the pre buffer as well too, because they kind of end up running hand in hand if you have meetings back to back. So for our post buffer time, if you have it at 15 minutes, then nobody can book a call with you at 2 o'clock. Okay. They'd have to go 15 minutes after that. Well, 15 minutes after that. So, because the meeting duration was at 1 o'clock. So the next meeting would be at 2:15. And, that especially if that was like your last call as well too. So the next meeting available would be at 2:15. All right, so let's go to forms and payments. So the forms and payments section here, let's see. So right here, this is the default. You can also customize a form and drop it in here too for them to be able to fill out. And it'll be attached to this calendar, so that way it'll pick up the contacts information. And then for our widget order, this is how it would show in the system. So you can switch these back and forth here. So if you want the form to show up first and then they can select the time, you can do that here. For our pre-populated fields, this is a sticky contact. So let's say if you have repeat customers, and that this will pick up their contact information automatically. That way they don't have to keep putting in their first and last name or their phone number or their email address. It'll automatically pull that information in because they've already been on your form before. And then for the consent checkbox, the consent checkboxes, I would turn this on, because this one is just stating that they confirm that they want to receive any information from you, from your company, whenever they provide their contact information. If you want to add guests, you can add guests. If you want to allow your customers to add guests, you can add guests. So there's a confirmation page. There's also a confirmation page where you can use the default, or you can redirect to a custom confirmation page by clicking on the radio button. But this is the default that are automatically sent to them after they have booked the appointment with you. And then we have our Facebook Pixel ID, which is optional. You can pick that information up from Facebook itself. And then for your auto confirm new calendar meetings, you can go ahead and turn this on, and this will automatically confirm. That way you don't have to come back in here and confirm the appointment, and it let them know. So if you already know that you're going to meet with them, you can go ahead and turn this feature on to go ahead and send out the confirmation that their meeting or appointment has been scheduled. Then we have our payment options here. If you're accepting payments for this, you can turn that on. And you need to make sure that your payments are integrated as well too, in order for you to be able to accept payments prior to a meeting. And then we have our notifications and additional options. And then you can go in here and edit these. So we have the appointment book, which notifies when an appointment is booked with an unconfirmed status. We have a notification that goes out that notifies when an appointment is successfully confirmed. We have one for alerts when an appointment is canceled, one when it's rescheduled. This one sends out a reminder before the appointment and a follow-up after the appointment is completed. So you can go in here and edit these. You can turn them off if you want to. So let's say if this was turned on, you can go in here and correct all of these, but you can also turn it. So that was disabled, this is enabled. So let's say if we wanted to update this, or the message that goes out, because this is the default. that goes out. You can come in here and update this as well too. And then once you're done, just make sure you hit save at the bottom. Sorry. And this is the same thing for all of these. You can also test these as well too to make sure that the way that it goes out and what it's saying on there is how you want it to look whenever your clients or your customers or your leads see it. So it's the same thing going all the way down. You do the same thing, enable it, and then have the you can update the entire email. All right. So let me turn that back off. Oh, I didn't save it. Let's go down to, all right, allow Google and Outlook calendar send invitation to update emails to attendees. You can check that box on too if you have Google or Outlook calendar that you would like to utilize as well to send out the information. Let's see, the assigned contacts to their respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. So this just keeps them with the same person that they've been doing their meetings with. And then if you assign it, if you check that box, and then this box will pop up as well too, where they can skip the assigning the contact if the contact is already an assigned user. So you can turn that on as well too. Now for the cancellation and reschedule policy, you can turn this on to allow the rescheduling of the meeting, and then you can enter in when the link will actually expire. How long do they have before the meeting starts before they can reschedule the appointment. And then the same thing goes for the cancellation as well too. So you can toggle this on and off and do give the same type of restrictions as well too for the cancellation of the meeting. And then we have our additional notes here. And then we have our customization. So here's a calendar cover image that you can add as well too. We have our widget styles. So we have the Neo, and then we have our Classic as well too. And then you can customize the colors of the buttons and the dates and the time slots and actions. You can customize the background color of the form and the date and time selector. And you can also customize the text of the button when they are booking the appointment. Okay, and you can toggle on or off the calendar title, the calendar description, and the details as well too. If you have a custom code, you can input that in here as well. And you can also preview it as well too before you save it. So let's preview it. All right, so this is what the calendar will end up looking like once you've completed it. And that's in the Neo style. So let's look at it in the Classic. All right. You got a little bit of a difference there. All right. So that's how you would set up the advanced settings inside of the calendar for the personal booking. And then once you're done and you've verified everything is the way that you want it to look, make sure you hit save in the upper right hand corner. And it'll save that booking. So here's our booking here. And if you need to get a link for it as well too, you can hit the share button, and then you can copy this link for the share link, for the schedule link. And then we have our permanent link where this stays the same regardless of whether this changes or not, or your slug changes. Then we have our one-time link as well too that you can copy. As well too. All right.